Alhamdulillah for everything.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Everything God gave me.
Yes, guys, hope you're doing well. We're here in Rivals MMA Gym. We're joined with my good friend, Tuco Tokkos. How you doing, brother?
Good, bro. Good to see you.
Nice
Man.
to see you.
Thanks for
So,
having me.
North London,
Yep.
first time here, first time filming outdoors. You guys usually see me in the studio, so
We dragged you north of the river for this episode.
yeah, we're in your natural habitat,
Yes,
in
man.
the gym.
Yeah, just up the road from where I'm from.
Exactly. So, let's get started. Usually all my guests, I like to introduce them from the beginning. Anyone watching who maybe doesn't know, obviously they should know, but anyone who doesn't, do you want to tell them who you are, what you do?
My name's Tuco Tokkos. I'm a professional MMA fighter. I fight in the UFC. I'm from London originally. I'm now based in South Florida in the United States. And here visiting, had to get with my boy and jump on the pod.
Exactly, yeah. Whoever lands in London, we've got to get a piece of him.
Yes, man.
So, obviously, Tuco, with all my guests, I like to start from the beginning because our age, young people, our age, and they're obviously starting out their lives and they always want to see the first step.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want to talk about from the beginning, where you were born, where you grew up, and then we'll work our way.
So I'm a real Londoner. I'm born and bred in Camden, London. My parents were separated. They weren't married when I was born, so moved around a lot. I was always in a single parent household. My parents done a lot of drugs and stuff like that. So as kids, my brother and I, we moved around a lot. We were with my dad a lot of the time, and then living with my grandparents and stuff like that. We had a working class London upbringing, you know what I mean? If you're from London and you're in the working class, you know how that goes. But I always say I wouldn't change that. Like, I love where I come from. That's like my foundation. And I think it's a great foundation to have, to be working class from London. And then I think you can do anything. It makes you strong and cynical and wise beyond your years.
Exactly,
and I think I always say, if you're born and bred in London, there's not a place on earth you can't travel to. Like, you're just set to travel anywhere and you'll be good.
Yeah, if you make it through London, you can make it anywhere.
100%.
And a lot of people as well, I've said this to many people that, come from nothing, so to speak, or have a hard upbringing. It's usually the hardest battles for the strongest soldiers.
Yeah.
So if you, like myself, you come from ends, like they call it, quote unquote, and you make it through.
Yeah.
What else is going to stop you? Nothing.
Exactly.
So
Like,
it's beautiful to have. Yeah. And in terms of upbringing as well, you mentioned Camden.
Yeah.
Obviously, you grew up there. How was it like growing up there?
Camden's a crazy place. Like, I remember when I was young, we went to like some business day where you go for business studies or something. When I was young in secondary school, and they had a map of Camden and they were showing that it's the borough with the most traffic, not driving traffic, but like people coming in and out. Mm-hmm. And they'd say, they were like, there's like 1 million people in and out of Camden every day.
Busy.
And I was like, wow. Like, now I live in America, there's states in America that don't have 1 million people and they're huge. And I think, wow, for such a small borough and where it's located, because it really is like the heart of London. Like, we've got the West End just there and then all these other busy boroughs around
Stations
us.
And everything.
Yeah, it's like, it is a crazy place to grow up. It moves 100 miles an hour. And at times you can feel isolated, but then other times it's like you've got the whole world at your feet. It's easy to get to everywhere. It's busy, there's a lot going on.
It's like a portal.
Yeah, it's a portal, exactly.
The good bits and the bad bits.
So it's a very unique place. Everyone knows Camden Market, of course. But yeah, like you, I grew up in council housing. And yeah, like anyone that grows up in council housing in a borough like Camden or one of these boroughs knows it's
if you make it out, you make it out.
Yeah, it's not an easy road, you know what I mean? But the people that do make it out, they like you said, it's a great foundation to have, and it gives you a great set of skills and thick skin to go do anything, you know what I mean? Exactly. And I've definitely carried that with me into my sport and my career. My dad is Greek originally, Greek Cypriot. My mom is Brazilian with some German mixed, but I had mainly like a Greek upbringing. Mm-hmm. And then especially there's times we lived with my grandparents and it was like, they didn't even speak English. My granddad, it was Greek food every day. So even though I grew up poor, I'm 6'4" and I'm big. Probably all the Greek food
The feta
every
running through
day.
your
Yeah,
veins.
bro.
It's
My
not
aunts
blood,
and
it's
stuff.
feta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt's cooking for us and stuff like that. And all the cousins, the rough and tumble with the cousins, because we have like 112 cousins or something crazy. And like 50 of us are boys. And yeah, it was just great growing up like that. So even though we're working class from London, having that ethnic background gives you like a solid kind of support structure around you. Yeah, a lot of family.
Yeah, and as Algerian as well, I feel like it's similar culture.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
speaking,
of course. It's a stone's throw away.
Yeah, it's literally Mediterranean. It's like
Yeah.
you're heavy on your olive oil,
Yeah.
you're heavy on your family
Yeah.
structure. And would you say growing up in Camden, because everyone I'm sure knows, even people outside the UK, they know that Camden is like loads of ethnicities there. It's not just English. You've got your Jamaicans, you've got your Greek, you've got your Turkish, Algerian, whatever. Would you say that growing up there, obviously it was rough, but also a lot of mix of people, so it let you go out into the world and deal with loads of people?
It's crazy you say that, because even now when I travel places, it's like I'm so familiar with all these cultures, because especially Camden, we've got a lot of Africans, Asians, the Somalis, all kinds of people,
All
like
mixed,
every kind of culture and ethnicity. But so you learn about food, culture, religion, and then when you go and travel in the world, it's like you just know these things and you're comfortable anywhere around any kind of people. Whereas like Americans, they don't have that exposure. They might grow up in some rural white town in the middle of nowhere in the Midwest, and they've never seen someone who's from these places. They don't know about their food, their religion, nothing. I can get in a taxi anywhere and I say to the driver, "Where are you from?" And I know about his culture.
Stories, for
It's
days.
like, it's easy. It's great having that exposure growing up.
It's like America, I've seen like, you call me a Democrat.
Yeah.
It's just like one group of people.
Yeah.
And then when they go out into the world, because obviously as you reach these heights, like you, for example, you're a fighter, UFC fighter, you know, obviously loads of people say you're living good, right? You've made it pretty much. Obviously a lot more to come, but compared to the average person, so you're going to see a lot of people. Fighters, they're not just American, they're not just English.
You
And not
travel
just
the
fighting,
world.
business, obviously sponsorships, media. You're speaking to an Algerian here, tomorrow you're going to speak to a Turkish person or something, right? So it kind of makes you ready. And talking about your childhood as well, obviously we're still talking about Camden here, but like in terms of the financials growing up.
Yeah, well, like I said,
housing,
we was working class. My dad had been to prison and he wasn't always the most legitimate businessman, but he was a carpenter by trade, so there's times he was working a lot, you know what I mean? It was just me and my brother and I, and it was a lot of like taking yourself to school, getting yourself ready, getting back from school, cooking the dinner, doing the laundry. So that was good. It taught me to be independent and how to take care of myself and take care of the home. And you just grow up quick, you know, especially for me. My dad always said I was just a man from when I was a kid, because I'm his eldest son and it was just us a lot of the time. So you know, growing up poor, but that's a very common theme where I come from. Like where I come from, everyone's got parents on drugs, everyone's from a single parent household, everyone's from a council housing or an estate. Everyone's poor. Like it's just how life is, isn't it? It's like, you don't. It's not so much something that you don't focus on it too much because you're just a kid. You're going to school. You're just doing your. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't even bring it up that much. In America, there's a lot of fighters. They get on a microphone and they're talking about.
Come from the streets.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, like America's different. Like when I went to America, everyone's. Like their parents are married. When I was growing up, I only had one friend who had two parents, and he was from Pakistan.
Yeah.
Like no one had both parents. No one came from a married, secure household. No one everyone had people on drugs in their family, people going to jail in their family. Yeah, it's just a common theme. It's like just where we come from. You don't even think about it that much. So when I moved to America, and all of my friends that I made and all the guys I trained with, they come from these white picket fence houses, two parents, two cars and a dog. Yeah, like normal families. I was like, wow. I was like, everyone's rich here. My bad, excuse me. Yeah, I was like, everyone's rich in America. It's crazy. Like everyone owns their house. I don't know no one that owns their house in.
So cancel.
In London. It's crazy. But that again gives you thick skin. You know, you get desensitized to it, and then you go out in the world, and when you do start to get things. Like you make money and it's like you value it more. You know the value of it. You know what I mean? I always say that poor people are the most generous people because they know how it feels to have nothing.
And it's the funniest thing as well. Like when you come from build your way up, it's fun. It's like if you're born with everything, and then the only way you can go is down.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could buy, not drugs, whatever. You get involved in that. You have the money to buy that. But if you're broke, you know that I need money for milk and bread. I can't be buying, smoking this, doing that.
Exactly. So I'm glad. I'm grateful for my upbringing, man. So much. It made me who I am. 100%.
Yeah, thank God always. And funniest thing as well, I want to mention this before we move on to the next bit, is you know how you said you had your problems, and many people you grew up around that have problems. It's usually the ones that make it that don't complain. Yeah. Because you're the one who said, I'm quoting you right now, you were like, I never talk about it much. But it's always the people that, don't make it, and then they start saying, I grew up single parents, the odds were stacked against me, You have single parents, your dad most of the time, whatever, he wasn't here, you had to do loads of things yourself. You could have just sat back and said, single parent, Greek, dad's in prison, I'm not going to make it, I'm just going to do this or crime or that. But you didn't. You were like, okay, I've got these problems.
Exactly. It's funny that someone can use it as an excuse for their failure or I use it as an excuse for my success. Like I am who I am because of my childhood. And I think any bad thing that's happened to you should only be a positive influence.
Fuel.
Like anything, the worst thing that happened to you should only motivate you and it should be a positive influence. 100%. When you have that attitude, it's like good things are good, bad things are good. So whatever happens, it should motivate you, it should be good.
Exactly, yeah. And let's talk about life for MMA as well. We talked about obviously childhood growing up. Now let's talk about school, because there's this common, stereotype, let's say, that all these fighters, they have anger management. They can't control that anger. They have trouble in school, and then some coach discovers them and takes them to the mountains, Dagestan, or whatever. Bro, how's your life like that?
You know what? There's like these days fighters, that stereotype of fighters like with the Mohican, spiky hair and tattoos and all that and being nuts, like that's like from 20 years ago. Now there's fighters, they all got degrees and they're all smart dudes, man. They go to university and they wrestle at university and they got a degree in whatever, like science or something.
It's different.
Yeah, and like they're smart, cerebral guys. They wear glasses, they read, they study, and then they fight. Like it's different now. But yeah, I didn't, like I said, I had a good structure. Like I know my dad and my granddad. I sat on both their laps. I was very disciplined as a kid. So I never had anger management issues. I was immersed in all of that because of my environment.
You can't escape it now.
Yeah, I've always considered myself a smart guy. I've always been smart and I've always made calculated moves, and you know what I mean? Even when I had run-ins with the law, like I was always smart. It wasn't like...
Didn't go all in.
But yeah, I went to an all-boys school in Camden. So, and it was like, I tell them in America, it's the good schools that have school uniform.
Yeah.
In England, the bad schools have school uniform.
So prison uniform.
Yeah, I went to state school in Camden, all boys school. So it was just mayhem. Like every day it was pandemonium, like brawls in the playground and teachers getting battered and all kind of crazy stuff used to happen at school. After school, other schools will come to your school to fight you. People would get stabbed, hammered. People would run out of like DT, design technology. They'd go raid the cupboards with hammers to get the hammers and chisels and because there'd be people coming to the school from another school. So people would bring dogs. It was just crazy. Like every day was just pandemonium at school. But then I was smart. Like I was the first person in my family to finish secondary school and do my exams. Like my parents, I had an older sister, they all got expelled. So I was the first person to finish school. But like I said, I had that big family. So I had 5 cousins at my school with the same name as me, all boys. So we was rolling heavy. No, it wasn't like I was like under the thumb. It was like if one of us got in a fight, people would run around the school to tell all the cousins like, oh, your cousin's having a fight. And then we'd all back it. It was crazy having all those cousins at the school. It was like, it was good. But then you finish school and you're like, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean?
Uni or work?
Yeah, you're like, what am I gonna do? So, yeah, I don't know. Like I started working, and I done some laboring and like that to be legit, and then I done security. I started doing security, working doors.
Whatever job you could find.
Yeah, but then I was good at that, working doors. I was big. I was training, and then one day I was watching TV and I was watching UFC.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, my mum's from Brazil. I should start doing jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I went to the nearest gym. It was here in King's Cross. And I started doing jiu-jitsu. That was the first, but I was late to start. I was like 19 or 20 or something, where most people, they start in America when they're super young. There's kids classes and stuff like that.
What they were, yeah.
Yeah, so I started late, man, but I was in good physical shape. I used to train, do calisthenics and lift weights. So I was in good physical shape. And I grew up, obviously, council housing in Camden, so...
Roughed up.
Yeah,
You know how to
fighting
do it,
and all
yeah.
that, and going to a boys' school, there was always fights, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people, like in America, you hear that stereotype of guys saying, oh, I grew up in a rough neighborhood, or used to get in a lot of fights. But when you go to America, bro, it's huge. Like, even if you go to the worst ghettos in California, it's like they all got gardens, and it's sunny, and it's a big house on a big street.
It's not as bad as it,
yeah, bro. I'm like, when you grow up in London, like, people are stacked on top of each other. It's such close proximity.
In the flats.
Yeah, bro.
Me too, bro.
So everyone's in a close proximity, and it's just, I don't know, it's like a gritty level of violence. Like, it's gruesome, isn't it? It's not like, I know in America there's drive-bys and stuff like that, but in London it's like people get killed every day, like, and they're getting younger and younger. It's crazy out there. People getting stabbed to death daily, just like that.
It's quick. And then they run off, you don't know.
It's very intimate and it's gruesome. So yeah, when I got into martial arts, I was like, oh, this is nothing. Like, whereas the average person, they're not used to all that confrontation and those interactions. So when they get into martial arts, it's like, that's the biggest
jump for them.
Yeah, it's like, that's what they have to get over. They have to get over those interactions, the confrontational side of training and competing mixed martial arts. Like when I started competing jiu-jitsu and going to jiu-jitsu competitions, I was like confident, ready. I was like,
worse, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is nothing. And then I'd see the next guy and he's so nervous, like sweating, like, oh my God, because he's about to compete with someone in a rule set of jiu-jitsu with a referee and judges and all that. I'll be like, bro, yeah. So that was great. That was great to go from that environment into martial arts. I was like, oh damn, and my coaches kind of noticed that. The first people I trained with Ash Grimshaw. He was like my first MMA coach, and he was like, yeah, you're gonna be a fighter, like you can fight. Like you should fight. Mm-hmm. Like you're a road man. If you like, you should fight. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, they just pushed me from jiu-jitsu straight into MMA. Yeah. He got me my first fight and that was it.
Went up all from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of fighting as well, like you said, the kids that came from, nice backgrounds, where they were scared. This is like the most confrontation it's going to get for them.
Yeah.
For you, you've seen worse, obviously.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's what helped you kind of start out and look strong and fighting? Because realistically, you probably haven't got much to lose compared to them.
Yeah, I always say that. I always say, like, I don't feel, and sometimes to my detriment, I don't feel a sense of urgency sometimes when I fight. Because I think, even though the arena could be full, now I fight in the UFC, 20,000 people on average in these arenas.
Noise, everything.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's a referee, there's cameras, there's doctors, there's an ambulance. You can tap out. The guy's unarmed, they search him, he ain't got a knife when he gets in.
Yeah. So
I think, oh, this is chill. Like, I don't have that urgency, like, where it's life and death. Because there's times where it's like, in London, you can get chased or you're in an interaction and it's like, your life's on the line.
No rules in the street.
Yeah, your life's on the line, for real. I know that sounds crazy, but
it's true.
It's real like that. So, some kid just got killed the other day, I heard, and he got to grow. So, when you come from that, I'm like, oh, this is chill, this is nothing.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like moving from these kind of rough areas. Yeah. When you're into the kind of sophisticated world where there's referees, there's rules and everything, most of them excel because they know that, in here they have an exit. But in the life outside the cage, they don't have an exit.
Yeah.
It's either you make it or you die, and then people forget about you. That's another thing as well. And in terms of fighting, when did you know that fighting was for you? I see myself in the UFC.
So I never, like I said, I didn't start young, and I didn't have like parents who was taking me to the training and taking me to competitions and paying for all the stuff. because I didn't start at that age and I didn't have parents like that, and I was just on my own. So I was never like, oh, I'm going to be a champion one day. I never had that motivation. The next step, I didn't see it. I didn't have that vision or that process. I was just like, oh, I'm going to start training. Oh, I'm going to start competing. Oh, I may as well do MMA. Like, I never thought like of that possibility, but that could be just where I come from. You don't have that optimism. You're more like,
Block by block.
you take things day at a time. Yeah. So I just took it one day at a time. And my first fight was almost 13 years ago, 12 years ago. And it was like, obviously there's guys that are much more old school than me. Like my coaches, they was fighting way back in the day, like crazy shows and stuff like that. But my first fight, it was in small gloves, no shin guards. Now they have all these amateur fights and stuff. My fight was in small, like pro gloves, no shin guards, in a full-size cage.
Just go out there and do it.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this is like, what the fuck? That never happens now. Yeah. Like now there's like all this grassroots MMA, there's real amateur shows and different rules and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I had a few fights, I had a bunch of fights that aren't on my record or anything. And then I took a little break. I went away and I was doing other stuff. So I didn't have that motivation of like, oh, I'm going to fight in the UFC. I was just taking fights. I was just fighting because I was training.
Love the game.
Yeah, and it was just like more of a hobby or something to do in the daytime because I had extracurricular activities at nighttime. So it was just something to do. But then I remember I had I went away and I was up doing other stuff and I went away. I was doing other stuff and I got stabbed in my leg in some beef that we had. And then I was like, and I came back to training and stuff like that. And then I had a conversation with Ash Grimshaw, who was my first coach. He's a coach at GB Top Team, one of the head coaches down there. He had like a storied career. He fought in Bellator, he fought all over the world, fought in China, fought everywhere, all over Europe, fought in America. He was like one of my first real mentors. But he was real. He was from the similar background to me.
He knew what you were
So he like, I don't know, he'll probably say he's much better looking than me, but I like to think he saw some of himself in me, even though I'm twice as tall as him. But yeah, he always encouraged me. He was my guy, still is my guy to this day. But he's the one that was like, yo, like, why don't you do this properly? Like,
lock in, yeah.
Like take some real fights. Let's get a pro record going. Like, let's do it. And I was like, yeah, I'm down to do it. Like, let's go. What do I need to do? And he's the one that told me you need to do this, this, and this. And he told me you need to start training at Team Titan, was the MMA gym up in North London. This is your schedule. He told me, this is your training schedule. You're going to be full-time. This is going to be your job. So that's the first time it was my actual job. Like I started training full-time and I was living as a professional fighter. So I took my first pro fight. And I remember, I'll never forget, he called me. So I was 0-0 as a pro. He called me and said, yo, we got you a guy, he's 2-0. And I was like, I remember thinking, damn, this guy's already 2-0 and I'm 0-0. And I remember he said, is that a problem for you? But being me, I was like, nah.
I'm from Camden.
Yeah,
I can do anything,
exactly. And obviously I had my little boys, like my crew. So it's like I could sell a lot of tickets to fights. So I was like, it was attractive to promoters. Like, this guy's from London. He's got a crew. He's not some weirdo that trains. Like, he could be something. So I started fighting on a show called UC MMA, previously Cage Rage. It was like one of the biggest shows in London. The promoter was a real dodgy crook. Great guy though, Dave O'Donnell. I love him. He put me on. And I had my first 3 pro fights there almost 10 years ago. And I won, and I won, and I won. And I just kept winning 3-0. And then I got a call from John Durant, the guy who actually owns this gym. He was my boxing coach. And he had a show where they were bringing people from China to fight people from England. It was a country v country show, and it was in a ring in the Clapham Grand. And it was on Chinese TV. They had real cameras, TV cameras. And it was going on, it was like SZTV, Szechuan TV or some shit.
Chinese,
Shenzhen TV, And they were like, yeah, there's going to be like 1 million people watching live. And I was like, how?
All of China.
And they were like, there's 1 billion people in China, yeah. We were like, wow. Yeah, and they brought these Chinese guys over. But that was like before that I fought on the show on UFC MMA, I was 3-0, and I was just fighting guys, like random guys. I fought a Romanian guy, English guy. And then, yeah, I got that call to fight on that show, and I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, I think the main MMA fight. And I fought this guy, this Chinese guy. That was like my first real international fight. A guy coming from overseas, flew from China to come fight me. It was crazy. And the first round, like he wrestled the hell out of me, slammed me on my head. I was like, damn, yeah, I lost the round. Like he was beating me up. He was on top of me, beating me up. I was like, damn. That was my first like adversity, because before that I was winning every fight easily. And then I came out the second round and I finished him. I took his back and I TKO'd him. And I was like, damn, let's go. And I was 4-0. And at that time, my jiu-jitsu coach, Jude Samuel, he was the matchmaker for Bellator Europe. And he said, look, they're doing a lot of shows in Europe. We're going to offer you a contract. And they signed me. So I got signed to Bellator at 4-0, because I was 4-0, all finishes. I was young, I was from London.
Hungry? Yeah,
it was like, he was like, yeah, this guy can sell tickets, and at this weight class, he's a good guy to have and all that. And then I went to America to train. I was signed to Bellator. I went to America to train. I knew some people in Florida. And that's the first time I went to America, 2017. 2017, went to America, and that's when I first started training there. But I never thought like I would live there. Yeah, I never thought I'd live there. I went out there to train, and the level was just so high. I was like, wow. You know, London's a great place to train, because everyone's tough and there's some good people to train with, some great skill here. Everyone's got good boxing, but in America, like the wrestling and stuff like that was just different level.
More stuff, yeah.
So training out there was great. And then I'd made the decision to move there. I was like, I'm gonna move here and train here full time.
Yeah. I
moved out there, but I couldn't fight for a year, because when I moved there, I couldn't work there. Yeah. And then if I left, I couldn't go back. Yeah. So I was like, damn. So I couldn't fight. I just signed to one of the biggest promotions in the world, Bellator. It was the second biggest promotion at that time. And I couldn't fight for a year. So I was just damn on the shelf, waiting. But then I got the work authorization, and I fought at Wembley. But I'd been out for so long, I came back and I fought at Wembley, which was a big thing for me, because I'd seen, you're probably too young to remember Prince Nazim.
I've seen clips from there.
Yeah, Prince Nazim. Like I used to watch all these guys fight at Wembley. So to fight at Wembley at that time was huge. Yeah, it was great. And it's in Northwest London, like where I'm from. Fought at Wembley and I lost a decision. I'd been out for a year, not fighting, and I'd lost a bit of momentum. I lost a decision. Mm-hmm. And then my next fight was in America. It was my first fight in America. And I broke my foot, I think, in the second round. And I lost that fight. And then COVID happened. So my career was like, and they released a bunch of guys. And they released me. I was on a 2-fight losing streak and they released me. So I was like, oh, damn. It was like I had this initial high of like getting all these wins, building up my name, getting signed to Bellator. Then I took the losses, global pandemic, got released. I was like, damn, like I'm done, you know what I mean? And I just stopped training, got fat. Like I wasn't really motivated at all, yeah. And I didn't fight I didn't do anything for like a year. But I was still training, because I'd moved out there and I had my friends in the gym, and I met some great guys out there, and they're the ones that kind of pushed me back into fighting. They were like, why don't you stop cutting all the weight? Because I used to cut to 84 kilos, 185, and they used to kill me because I was huge.
So obviously, the start, take a couple steps back with America, right? Because to go from the UK, from Camden to America, the big lights and everything, it's obviously a big difference. So firstly, what made you want to go to America? And two, how did you actually get to stay there? Because obviously, maybe you made a bit of money from fights and stuff, but it's much more expensive living in America compared to here.
Yeah, well, just the quality of life in America, especially in Florida where I live, is just so much better than here. Like I said, here it's cold, raining every day. You know how London is. It's
Noisy,
just jam-packed. So going to Florida, the quality of life and the training, I was like, damn, this is where I need to be at. This is just, my life was just better there, you know what I mean? It was like being on holiday, that feeling that you have when you're on holiday. And I was
Forever,
like,
yeah.
bro, people live here. And everyone told me, why don't you just come live out here and stay out here? And then luckily I had places to stay for free. The connections I made at the gym, like I could train there. So it was just like, it was a no-brainer, you know what I mean? And I encourage everyone to travel. Like, that's my advice to like all the boys that are from my area that are younger. I'm like, travel. Like when you travel and you get out of your environment, because you don't realize how much your environment impacts you until you leave it.
It's true, yeah.
And like when I used to travel, because when I was young, I just used to make money and I would travel everywhere. I just book a flight somewhere.
Nice place to just
go.
Yeah.
I'd just go to Asia or whatever. And I saw that like when you're out of your environment, you actually can be your true self. You don't have this chip on your shoulder or your ego. You can just actually like you make friends and you're like, damn, I'm chill. Like I don't need to be so like tense and you know what I mean, anxious. So you can really be your true self and even discover who you really are. Like it's a great tool. Yeah, traveling is so good. So I just love that about America. I was like, damn, I want to live here.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well with traveling, like you said. For example, me, like I'm 20 now, obviously I'm getting old, but in terms of growing up, I just lived in Southwest London. The furthest I go is probably, 1 hour or whatever to go gym or play football or something. But I go to Uni Loughborough now, obviously we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That's like 100 miles from there.
Yeah.
It's not far, but it's a massive difference.
Yeah.
Everyone there is from a couple people from Manchester, Wales, Singapore.
Yeah.
It opened my mind. I'm like, what the hell? There's people in the world.
There's a whole world out there.
Instead of just Southwest
London.
London.
I've travelled all over the world. I've got one of those maps that you scratch out places you've been.
Pinpoint, yeah.
Bro, every year I'm scratching out places like, I want to see the whole world, man, because it's such a resource. It's like reading books or learning something. Like that exposure is just priceless, bro. It's invaluable.
So, and it's good to know. Obviously, I'm guessing you know people in many different countries.
All
so when you go to that
world,
country,
bro.
hit them up, be like, I'm
here. I got close friends all over the world, man. I'll just pull up and it's great. It's a big world out there.
Yeah, even through the podcast, like through me, obviously, I'm just getting started. It's pretty much my first year.
Yeah.
Last year, obviously, I started it. It was just London, just a couple of players, fighters in London. And then my first was actually in Australia. The first two people I did, they were from Australia. So I did it online.
Right.
And then I moved to England. And then I got someone from Leeds, so up north. And then slowly now, I've got you. Obviously, England, America. I've got a couple people in America. I'm expanding. And this is all digital. Imagine if I go and fly out. So that's what I'm planning to do. I've got my own gear now. Pack my bags.
You should, bro. Come to America, man.
Yeah, no, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's good. That's my purpose. Because I don't want to just stay in uni or stay in London, just sit, go to school, go to work, go to gym. That's a prison.
Yeah.
That's just a 2-mile radius prison.
Yeah.
I want the world.
And people put themselves there. They put themselves there. They spend all this money on whatever, drugs, drink, PlayStation, whatever your vice is.
Friday pub.
Yeah, it's like people just throw money away in the pub every weekend, and like you could save that for 6 weeks and go see some place that's another planet to you. You know what I mean?
Asia's different to London.
Yeah, Asia's crazy. I love Asia. I spent so much time in Asia.
Yeah, and in terms of visiting places as well, where do you say was like the first big country you went to that kind of opened your mind?
I'd say Asia again, man. Going to Asia, I went and trained out in Thailand. It was just, like I said, it's like a different planet. And it really changes you. Like, and you'll hear this from a lot of people that go to Asia. It's just such a culture shock that, again, it just brings out the best in you. You learn so much just through your interactions with people from there. Mm-hmm. Like, you pick up all their good things and you let all your bad things go. And you really level up as a human. Like, you evolve in those trips. Even though they're short trips, the exposure is so impactful. The day-to-day exposure, every minute, every hour is so valuable to your growth. Yeah, it's like in England, you could meet someone and make a new connection or friend, and an hour with them is really like constructive and it impacts you. But imagine 24 hours like that across the other side of the world.
New place,
it's like going to therapy. Like
it is, yeah. A lot of people say like I know you get the girls that go to Thailand to discover themselves. That's rubbish. We all know that is. But most people, especially like fighters like you or people that have been through struggle, they go there and it's like spiritually awakening. They wake up, they realize what your purpose is.
Yeah.
Even me, just going to uni, I discovered my purpose. Not Thailand. Imagine what I'm going to do in Thailand.
Yeah.
So it woke me up, and I knew that my aim is podcasting, social media, meeting people like yourself. And you obviously went there. You knew that probably Muay Thai, obviously in Thailand. I'm a fighter. That's my thing. So in terms of awakening as well, when would you say that you decided to fully like take this serious? No unhealthy, none of this, just fight.
So it was, like I said, I had that, like I was taking it serious when I signed to Bellator, but then when I got released, I was like, I was kind of 1 foot out. And it was my teammates at the gym, my boy Brendan Allen, who's in the top 5 middleweight in the UFC. He really pushed me and was like, man, you're good. Like, you should go all in. Like, let's give it a run. Mm-hmm. He said, move up a weight class, stop doing all the weight cuts. Let's actually give it a go. And I said, all right, cool. And I started just getting fights because I was a free agent. So I was fighting here, there, in America. But I was in America fighting regional. Yeah. And like, I took a fight, I finished the guy. I took another fight, I finished the guy.
Got your streak back.
I took another guy, another fight, I finished the guy. Yeah, and I went on this finishing run. And then eventually the UFC picked me up for a short notice fight. They called me, I remember my manager called me, he was like, hey, you're fighting in the UFC this Saturday. I was like, let's go. 3 days notice. Had to fly from across the world. I was in Abu Dhabi. Flew to Vegas.
First flight back, yeah.
Yeah, I framed the tickets. And yeah, I made my UFC debut. And after that, I was like, damn, I'm in now. Like, I'm in.
You see the light.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I made it. Like, now I'm all in. It's good, man. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, and that's with like your goals as well, because you obviously struggle, like you said, when you were cut. Mm-hmm. And we're obviously going to talk about your weight cuts as well, what it means, because a lot of people don't see that. People just see you fight and they say, oh, he tapped out, oh, he lost, he's not good. But they don't realize that you had to cut all these kilograms and stuff. So talk us through that mentally, how it is behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's the things you don't see. I always say we get paid to make weight. The fight's free. Making weight is the hardest part of fighting. You couldn't ask any fighter. Like, making weight is so hard because the fight is just 15 minutes, but the weight cut could be 8 weeks, 12 weeks, even longer of dieting. Every meal you eat, you have to account for. You have to count your calories. Yeah, and you're in a calorie deficit for weeks and weeks and weeks, and training harder than you've ever trained. So it's like, they just take so much out of you. That is the real fight, I think, the weight cuts. And then you get to the fight week, there's so much that you have to do, because on the fight week, it's essentially a water cut. The dieting's done. You still have to diet on the fight week and eat the right things at the right time. But most guys, they're losing 10, 15, 20 pounds of water sometimes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, which is 10 kilos of water. Just in water out of your body. So it's like you stop eating sodium, which makes you delirious. You get like a sodium deficient
cramps,
deliriousness. You get awful cramps. Oh mate, you can't go to the toilet. It's so bad. And then the night before the weigh-in, you actually have to cut any water that you have to get to the weight that you need to be, the contract weight. Yeah, and that's hard. I do the bathtub, people do sauna, people train the weight off.
Sweat it out, yeah.
There's a lot of different methods. I have my preferences, what I think's healthiest. But yeah, you sweat it out and then it's rough until you get on that scale and you can rehydrate. It's really rough. But then there's a method to it all, and even when you rehydrate, there's the method that you use, the best way to
slowly,
rehydrate, and all the right nutrients and electrolyte balances and stuff like that. And then only after that, you weigh in, you go eat, or your nutritionist cooks for you or whatever, then you're like, damn, okay, now I can focus on the fight. And it's only when it's night before, even though you've been training for it and stuff, but really I just focus on the weight cut, and then
it's the hardest bit.
Yeah, once I make the weight, I'm ready for the fight.
Yeah, and there's obviously, I'm going to break this into 2 bits. Obviously, one's more of a controversial issue. There's a lot of people saying that, water cutting or cutting water is obviously unhealthy, puts fighters in dangers. They should stop that. They should set, people should have normal levels of water and just cut weight. Because there's this thing called obviously weight bullies or something like that. What's your opinion on that?
Well, it's nothing to do with a promotion. They don't say that you have to cut weight. They just say you have to be this weight. If I want, I can go fight a heavyweight and not cut any weight.
Why not? Yeah.
Or the guy who cuts to 77 kilos, he could just fight at 84 kilos, the weight he walks around at. But he knows the next guy who he's going to fight is cutting down.
Naturally, yeah.
Yeah, he's cutting the water. So once he rehydrates, he's going to be bigger in the cage. But the promotions, like UFC, they put measures in place. You've got to be a certain weight on the fight night. You can't put on too much weight. It's not fair. But it's up to us, really. It's like we should walk around lighter and not cut the weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You wanna cut a little bit so that you can be a bit bigger, but I don't think it's so much the promotion. I think they invented weigh-ins to make sure it was fair, right? They said, the day before, both guys got to be same weight. So, but I don't think back then when they invented weigh-ins, they knew guys would be cutting out 20 pounds of water to make that weight. Yeah. They just thought, if these guys diet and walk around at the same weight, they should fight each other. But then people abuse that system. So, and it is dangerous. Like when I would cut to middleweight, oh man, it was bad for my body. If you see pictures of me, it was rough. So that's why I made the decision to move up. I don't want to do that anymore. But yeah, I don't think it's the promotion. It's the fighters, you know. We choose to do it.
It's rules. Some people use it, some people don't.
Yeah,
so.
Some guys, they move up in weight class like me and they have more success than they had before. I think.
It's an individual thing.
It's an individual thing, but it's definitely cutting a lot of weight is not good for you.
Yeah, everyone agrees on that. Yeah,
for sure.
There's life after.
Yeah,
MMA, you know?
Yeah.
If you're messing with your metabolism, or whatever, it's gonna haunt you later on, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and in terms of, let's say you weigh in, you made weight, obviously, and then you got a day or something?
Usually. You weigh in on a Friday morning, 9 a.m., and then you don't fight until the Saturday night.
So what do you do?
So you have at least 24 hours. So as soon as you get off the scale, because the last thing you've done is cut out water, you put back the water, but you do it, there's a method to do it. Like if your nutritionist is good, you'll have a tailor-made rehydration program that has all your levels of sodium and potassium and magnesium that you need based on your numbers and your weight cut. Yeah. So first you put that back. You put back all those electrolytes and micronutrients and water. Then once you're hydrated, you can eat. Because if you eat when you're dehydrated, you don't have the blood. Your blood plasma is so thick, you can't even digest it. All the blood tries to go to your stomach to digest food. You don't have that blood flexibility and lubrication to digest food.
There's a lot more to it.
So you have to be careful. You have to rehydrate first, then eat the right things. Your body needs simple carbs, restore the glycogen, or stuff like that. And then on the fight day, you want like slow releasing carbs and pre-fight carbs.
Feel yourself.
Then you're ready to go,
Yeah, and in terms of UFC, when you got that call, you know, I'm guessing, were you expecting it or it was just out of the blue?
Like I knew I was on a win streak and I was at a place with my record and at my weight class and stuff that I was like, all right, cool. Like I could get a call, but nothing prepares you for actually getting the call. Like you get the call and you're like, wow, it's happening.
Time, yeah.
Yeah, let's go time. And like, there's so much goes into it. When you sign with the UFC, there's so much paperwork that you have to do. You have to enroll in the drug testing program. You have to do all your sign up stuff and they want all your information and all this stuff. Yeah, and for me, because I was foreign, I had to give more stuff, passport and all this different stuff. And then it's just a big show, man. The UFC is the big show.
Thousands.
Yeah, when they call it the big show, they're the number one promotion that no other promotion can compare. Yeah, and it's just nothing prepares you for that. Like when you actually go to your first fight week and they give you your schedule and you're like, damn, I got media, photo shoot, all this different stuff.
Back home is different.
Yeah, you're like, it's go time, let's go. And so many people work for the UFC. It's like a huge company, billion-dollar company. So it's just different level, man.
It's one of the big, I think personally, right, especially the last couple of years, the UFC and like MMA in general, it's gone up like crazy. Yeah. I remember seeing these, you know, I just got into UFC just because of the people I interview, you know. I've probably known it for a year or two. I knew obviously Khabib and Conor McGregor and everything, but, you know, if you see the first couple of shows, no one knew what it was. And then now it's becoming, you know, send him 2-3 Dagestan, send him this, everyone knows about it. compared to like football, everyone's known it, but
Yeah.
MMA is like billions and billions. I think it's
Yeah.
one of the biggest like sports.
Yeah, it's the
football and
fastest
then
growing sport for
yeah.
sure. Even when you look at the actual figures of the money, like
attention
from
as
where
well,
they
yeah.
were when they started in 1993 or whatever, it's been 30 odd years, to now, like the views that they get and the money that the company's worth. They got bought for like 4 billion or something a few years ago. So it's just different level. But I compare it to like regional shows and other shows is like going to the corner shop, phone shop. And then UFC is like the Apple store. It's like, it's just different level. Everything is just top notch, top class. The staff are amazing, and the production, the show itself. Like I've fought on all these shows and I've cornered on all these shows. UFC is just different level.
Yeah.
It's like going to Burnley versus going to Barcelona. It's like,
Miles
it's different. Yeah.
Little water break. And also, in terms of UFC, obviously, you were a free agent before, weren't you?
Yeah.
And then you got the call to UFC. You obviously did your fights in Bellator and
Yeah.
here in the UK and everything. What would you say, how big was the jump from just doing these regional fights to fight in front of 20,000 people?
So my first fight was in the UFC Apex, which is like a closed off thing in Vegas. But my first arena show, it was crazy. Like I was on the main card, I opened up the main card, and I remember walking out and I was like, wow, a packed out arena in America, like 22,000 people, whatever it was. It's just different level, man. Like
You like it? You like the
the
attention?
stakes are higher, but I will say it's like I felt a little less pressure because you're fighting at the highest level. It's like I'm fighting in the UFC on the main card in a packed out arena. Like to me, I feel less pressure in that environment. It's like there's less pressure I can just let it go, even though it's higher stakes. Higher stakes kind of take pressure away from me. Because it's like, if you're fighting regionally and like you don't want to lose regionally, you don't want to lose to some guy who ain't one of the best guys in the world. But in the UFC, every guy is one of the best guys in the world. There's only 500 of us on the roster. Like, that's just how it is. It's like, yeah, it's like playing football with Messi versus playing with a guy on Sunday League.
Keith,
it's like,
yeah.
if a guy on Sunday League nutmegs you, it's like, oh no, that's embarrassing. But if Messi nutmegs you, it's like, oh, whatever. I got
Fair enough,
nutmegged.
yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So for me, it takes pressure away. And it's just nothing compares to that, bro. When the bright lights, when you walk in that UFC cage and Bruce Buffer's there and the bright lights and you see Dana White sitting there, bro, it's the best thing ever. It's like, I don't know what people say is the best thing for them, being in the VIP of some club, I don't know. But for me, like when I fight, it's like the most freeing feeling. I love that feeling because it's like, I got no phone, no one's on my back.
Just your fists.
Bro, like I'm just there, raw, just me. And even my corner, they're not with me, they're just in the corner. And it's like, finally. I feel almost, it's liberating. I feel like that's my only real peace and quiet is when I'm in the cage. But I happen to be fighting another man who's trying to kill me, so.
Mix, balance, 50-50.
Yeah, I always think that, like, I love it. I'm in the dressing room and I'm like, I'm supposed to be here because I'm about to fight. No one can call me for anything. Like, I've got a pass from the whole world right now because I'm warming up for my fight. No one can bother me or annoy me.
You're zoned in.
Yeah, because I'm a person, like, every day people are calling me and asking me for something and need my help. So when I fight, it's like, and I get to the arena, it's like, I can turn my phone off.
Peace and quiet.
I don't have to worry about it. No one's going to call me. And then when I walk out, I just love it. I walk out, I look at the screen, I look around, I'm like, wow, I'm really here. And then I get in a cage and I feel liberating. Like I said, no phone, no money, nothing matters. And then they shut the cage door and you're like, oh yeah.
We've got a guy to kill.
Yeah, we got a fight right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that feeling of just like, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. Nothing's more important than this. Nothing. Because it's like, I know it's not truly life and death, but it is. Like, people die in fights. Like, you need to protect yourself. You need to win. Like, it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. We get desensitized and we normalize it. But it really is.
Closest you can get to.
Yeah, the closest you can get. Like, who's that over there? I'm not too sure. Someone.
Yeah, ready for up there. But yeah, that's the thing with fighting as well, because that's the most like authentic sport. Because football, you have your boots, you have your shin pads, you have a referee. Obviously, UFC, you have a referee, but that's the closest you get to death or being in the grave.
Yeah.
And it reminds you of the life. I'm guessing you're very grateful with life and everything.
Of course.
Because you know that you haven't got no phone on you. You haven't got your millions of dollars, whatever. You haven't got your Lambo.
Yeah.
It's literally you, your fist, and the other guy, his fist.
Facts.
Locked in. Khalas.
Facts,
ready to go.
It's raw, bro. It's real.
Yeah, it makes
That's
you
it.
grateful
Nothing
for life.
else matters. Nothing matters in that moment. Like then the task at hand, like the guy in front of you. That's all you have to worry about. And you do feel like that. You don't think about anything else. You just think about that.
Yeah, and in terms of that fight as well, talk us through it. So, you know, you're getting wrapped up or whatever. What was happening behind the scenes? Were you nervous at first, then you felt comfortable when you were getting hit and he was getting hit?
Like, yeah, once the fight starts, it's weird, man. Like, even, it's like something happens, like, even on a walkout, like, you see guys are nervous. You're walking out, you're like, damn, this guy, we're about to come out. And then you wait, you hear your name announced and all that. And then something happens, like, when the cage door shuts, it's like, your nerves kind of go. Your body's like, it's too late. It's too late for this. You have fear up until that moment.
Adrenaline, yeah.
And you see a lot of guys just switch. You'll see guys like they're getting their name called out and they're like, and then as soon as they shut the door and the referee's like, are you ready? Are you ready? You're like, bam. Like you just switch on. And I'll tell people that in the corner, I'm like, hey, switch on. And they'll just switch on. You'll see them like frown a bit and they'll just switch on.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like, for example, even with podcasts here.
Yeah.
When it was about an hour or something to get here, I was, I've done podcasts before, but this is my first kind of outside the ring, if you like, outside the studio, outside comfort. I've got to set my thing up, do everything. Yeah. I was nervous, I'll be honest with you. I was with, I'm seeing Tuco, I need to lock in, need to get this right. And then now I'm comfortable. This is my version of being in the cage. And my phone here, I've got a couple notifications over. I'm ignoring it. I'm forgetting about the world. I'm just focusing on you and the camera, obviously. So it's an alternate reality, but it's the same message.
Exactly the same. That's why I think everyone should do martial arts. Everyone should compete at some point because they get that and they can take that into their personal life, into anything, like even relationships or parenting or anything, work, business, Even with people in the street, like you'll hear it, like fighters, like me, bro, when I was young, I used to get into fights with people. Now, you got to pay me to fight. I get paid to fight. I'm not fighting some taxi driver. Like, I really don't care. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. You'll beat me up, all right.
They see the ear, they still go on.
I honestly don't care.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well with life in general. Forget about MMA for a minute. Just in life, everyone, especially as a man, everyone obviously, but you need to fight. You need to have a fight. My fight here is, I think I'm against all these big social media organizations, the ones that come with their heavy cameras and agencies, contract. It's actually me. I'm doing all this myself. I'm messaging you, managing this. That's my fight against the world, pretty much. Your fight obviously is as a fighter. You got to stay in shape. You got to go for that belt. Win as much fights as you can.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And before fighting, what do you say was like growing up? What was your fight? What was the thing you were going for?
My fight growing up was just surviving, bro. Like trying to find how I was gonna make it out. You know what I mean? But I always had that confidence. And you can ask people around me, like they always say, even an overnight success. Like people think everything's an overnight success. Slow. And with me, people think that. They think, I was lucky, I just got the call and I was lucky. No. But I was like, no, you don't know when I was a kid, bro, like not eating nothing and going to school all day. So people always from the outside, they'll look at you and see an overnight success, but they won't see the years and years that you had to put in even before you was even doing what you're doing just to get there. So that was my fight, was just even to find my path, what would eventually become my career. I didn't even know that was going to be my career, but I knew I had to be strong. I had to be ready to take whatever opportunity was going to come. Like I said, like I finished school and you're like, what am I going to do? Like, and a lot of kids in London, they have that. They don't know what they're going to do. We don't have parents that have a family business and we don't have nothing to go into, nothing to look forward to.
Out in the world,
you have to figure it out, bro. And in London, all the people I grew up with, no one even knows what their dream is. In America, that's a common question. People ask you, what's your dream? And I was like, in London, people don't even have dreams, bro. We're just trying to survive.
Just make it next stage.
Just trying to not get evicted and know what they're going to eat or feed their kids and survive. People ain't got bin bags. People ain't got nothing. So yeah, that was my fight. It was just like make it out and make my mind strong. And you can ask anyone that grew up with me. I'd like to think they'll all say I was different. Like even the way they used to make fun of me, people used to make fun of me like for like my attitude.
Yeah.
Like kind of like like why are you trying to be different? Like
You're not
no
special,
one makes it out. Yeah, but yeah, like Leon Edwards said, look at me now.
That's the thing, and even me, obviously, come from where I come from. Most of the people that I grew up with in my state, they were, half of them are either in prison or doing, barely working.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not going to say I'm a success or nothing, but I've made it past that stage.
Yeah.
And now I'm competing against the big dogs, the guys that had, obviously, I had my parents, thank God, obviously. But, I grew up in a rough environment.
Yeah.
I'm fighting the next stage. I'm fighting the people that had everything provided to them.
Yeah.
And that's where I always see, my dad used to tell me when I was younger, he was like, if these privileged kids do 1 hour of work, you got to do 2.
2 hours, yeah, just to be on the same level. But I think that looking at you, I'm like, bro, you're 20 years old, you're well spoken, you go study at a good university, you're doing your thing.
I'm still hungry.
With your show, yeah. I'm like, wow, that's good. Like I can already see you have that same attitude I had, that you were like, no, I'm going to be different. I'm not going to go work in Argos. Like, I'm going to do something else. I don't want to do that. So that's how I am. I always wanted to do that. I wanted to travel. I was like, I'm going to live in other countries. And I just wanted to be the guy for myself, like not for anything else.
So, and that's the thing, especially like ever since I started this, I've hated, like, some call it arrogance, but for me, you understand it as well. I hate working with someone now. Like, I just like carrying my own stuff.
And doing your own thing.
Doing what I want.
Being your own boss.
Yeah, because growing up, I used to get teased, free school meals kid, or, I remember in primary school, you had like book folders.
Yeah.
My one used to have a hole in it. Like, people used to tease me. They'd be like, weirdo, you have no friends, you're annoying. And then now, this is my way of getting back.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything myself. I don't need to rely on anyone.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah.
So
that's the good thing about fighting is like, we are accountable to some people, like your coaches, they've invested in you, you owe them a little bit. You have even the promoter, like the CEO of the promoter, of the promotion. But then at the same time, it's you ultimately in the cage.
it's just
If you didn't put in the work, you're getting your head beaten in. So
that's what school as well. Like, teachers, they're going to teach you so much, but end of the day, when you take that exam or when you go film, it's 1v1. All the revision that I did independently is going to pay off. Same with you. All the training you did, you can have the best coaches, you can have the best diet, but if mentally you're not zoned in and you're not ready, you're going to fail, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, and
100%.
In terms of UFC as well, how many fights did you have? How do you say you stay? Because a lot of people come and go.
Yeah.
They fight a couple of times, they lose, then they're off.
Well, yeah, I lost my first 2 fights in the UFC, so I had to, and I knew I was on a chopping block, because if you lose 3 in a row, you're cooked.
Oh.
If you lose 3 in a row, you're on the chopping block. So I knew I had to win my 3rd fight. But I was ready, innit? I didn't feel the pressure. I was like, damn, it's like make or break, I'm gonna make it. So yeah, I went out there and I won. I finished the guy, and that
Saved
was that.
yourself, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, I always say this, I've trained with so many good guys, and for whatever reason, they stop training, they go back to their country, they hit some roadblock in the road, and they give up. I'm like, consistency really is the key, bro. I know it's cliche, but it's like, just show up every day, man. That's it. Like, there's this meme, I always talk about this, and it's like a kid saying to his coach, like, I want to be a world champion. I'll do whatever it takes. And the coach says, okay, show up every day on time. And the kid's like, damn.
Yeah, after a month, he folds.
Yeah. It's like, it ain't hard. Just show up every day on time. Like, that's it.
Yeah, and that's the thing in life in general as well, because obviously when you started, winning at Bellator and everything, you thought it was easy.
Yeah.
But then you hit your roadblock, your visa issues, your injury, your loss, whatever. Most people stop at that because the road isn't always easy. It's always going to be struggles. Like me personally, I went, a month or something without getting any guests. I was in overdraft, right? I couldn't buy all this equipment and stuff. I could have stopped because I had my first 2-3 guests.
Yeah.
And then if I stop, people forget about me. But now I've got the pressure of all these guys I've done, 20 or so people now within a year. I need to keep on going. I can't stop, because once I stop, these guys are going to ask, I gave you my hour for what? I wasted my time for you. So what was your pressure? Because for me, it's obviously the guys I did and everyone talking.
Yeah, bro, I'm not going to lie. Like, when I'm probably in my most difficult time right now, bro. Like I'm dealing with a nasty injury. I'm not gonna say what it is because I don't want to put it out there. But I'm dealing with a nasty injury that's hard to come back from, bro. And I've got this momentum now. Like I want to be on a win streak and keep it going. Yeah, and that's probably rare. Like most people, they talk about something in the past, but that's all easy to me.
You're in it now.
Now I feel like I'm in it right now. Like I got this nasty injury. I got a bunch of personal issues going on. But again, it's the same thing that I just spoke about. It's just day by day, just showing up and being consistent. You know what I mean? Every day I feel bad about it, like physically and mentally. But like you probably had no idea me coming here, like that would even say something like this. Yeah, because the way I am, like I'll always exude confidence and I'll always be like that.
You got to, yeah.
Because all you can do is just show up consistently, and it's only you that it's gonna cost if you really put your head down in the ditch. No one cares about you anyway, bro. And I knew that already, but it's like you get reminders in your life, like
especially where you're from.
Yeah, we all know that. Like I knew that growing up. Like no one cares about you. You gotta care about yourself. And I always say that, but like I don't always take it in. And like even recently, I've rediscovered that. I'm like, damn, no one cares about you. Like you have to care about yourself. I say it to myself every day, and that's even true. Like now, like I'm going through a tough time, like injuries, personal life, but no one cares. I have to care about myself. So that's what I'm just trying to do, is show up for myself consistently, my health and all that stuff. And I'm not a person that really talks about mental health and all that stuff. You know?
Get on with it,
I wasn't a believer. I'm like Andrew Tate, bro. I'm like, oh, this is all nonsense.
Same here, yeah.
But it's good to have that attitude a little bit, but then you need to be self-aware, do you know what I mean, of like things that you're going through and how they impact you and make you feel and how you behave. Because otherwise you'll be one of those people that puts your head in the ditch and just gives up and really spiral, So just keeping it together, man. That's part of being a man and consistently showing up.
Yeah, and you've realised that now as well. Because I'm guessing when you're young, you don't feel things. You know, you can walk on low amount of sleep, or you can survive. You know, being hungry. But the older you get, and the more responsibilities you have, you know, whether you have kids or a wife or something, you know that you got to be kind of keep a flat line instead of peaking and crashing. Like, because most people, as a man especially, when you don't provide value. For example, with me, right? Before I started this thing, I'd personally say, even though I go to uni or whatever, I didn't provide value. I was just an average guy, goes to average uni, average course, goes gym, plays football, that's it. But now I feel like I'm providing value to people watching and to my family. You know, I'm meeting top 1% people like yourself. So that's kind of a journey that I'm on. But if I stop, who's going to care? Most people I know, they're already in prison. So they've got their own problems. My family, you know, broke, whatever, they've got their own problems. So you got to fight for yourself.
100%.
And you're oldest, I'm the oldest kid as well. You know how it is being the oldest, so.
Bro, especially my younger brother's wild, bro. People that know him, he's nuts, has so much potential. He's even a good person, not to dog him, but like he's got so much potential. But I guess maybe he lacks self-belief, and he, like I said, he don't consistently show up for himself. He don't take care of himself. So he's self-limiting, you know what I mean? And that's, again, it's cliche that it's you vs you and all that kind of stuff. But it's so true, bro. No one could be a bigger supporter than you to yourself, and no one could be a bigger hater than you to yourself. So
power of the mind.
Yeah, bro, you got to be your best friend. That's it.
And with the mind as well, like, I believe as well, you know, Andrew Tate as well said it. I remember I used to watch his clips when I was demotivated, feeling lost over. He said, you know, the mind's the most powerful thing, because if you tell yourself you're the man, right, Tuco, you're the man, you're the man, you're going to be the man. I tell myself, I'm the best podcast channel, I'm the best social media guy. I have to be now, otherwise I'm lying. As a Muslim, you know, as a man of God, especially, it's bad to lie, obviously. You shouldn't lie. And as a person, forget about God for a minute. If you tell a lie to yourself, you're a coward. Isn't it? So in terms of you, when you do you have these kind of like positive self-talk moments that keep you going?
Yeah, you're going to laugh. I saw this meme way back in the day. I've had it saved on my phone for 15 years. And it was like a guy looking in the mirror like that, right? But someone from London had put the caption and it said, "Remember, you're a wavy ute." I always say that to myself.
Always
bro.
going to be,
I always. And like, I tell people this when I corner them, bro. Like, I tell them before they're going to fight, before we're going to walk out the dressing room, I say, hey, go to the toilet, look in the mirror, have a word with yourself. And they're like, what? I'm
Sounds corny, but it's true.
I'm like, go to the toilet. Just look at yourself in the mirror. Bro, I do it every fight. Before they'll come and tell you in the UFC, oh, 3 minutes. You're going to leave the dressing room in 3 minutes because everything's on TV.
Time to walk you in, whatever, yeah.
And when they say that, bro, I go toilet for the last time because you need to wee like 20 times before you fight. I go toilet and I make sure there's no one in there and I go look in the mirror. Bro, I look right at myself in the mirror. I look in my own eyes. And I'm like, because in fighting, bro, they don't tell you this, but bro, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to accept the fight. You don't have to sign a contract. You don't have to go train. At any time, you don't have to get on the bus to go to the arena. You don't have to wrap your hands, nothing. At any time, you could say, I'm not gonna do this. Even when they say, it's your time to walk, you could say no. Even when you walk out, like you could just not get in the cage. You could say, you know what?
Screw it, I'm done.
I'm not doing it. Even up until the fight starts, the referee says to you, are you ready? You could say, no.
Send me home, yeah.
I'm not ready. Or even the fight could start and you could say, I'm done. Or during the fight. But you're not going to do that. Like, and I know I'm not going to do that.
Committed.
Because I want to do that. And I tell people to go have a word with themselves. And I'm like, remember, you want to do this. You signed up for this. You chose this life. You trained for this.
Exactly, yeah.
We came to the arena. You just warmed up for this fight. Like, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at myself in the mirror and I look in my own eyes and I look deep in my own eyes and I'm like, remember, you're a wavy youth.
It always ties back to that.
I love that, bro. I love that.
And that's the thing with life in general as well. You know, before we move into our Q&A section at the end, it's like, you chose this path.
Yeah.
You know, no one, obviously your friends tell you, you know, you should fight, but you could have just stayed back in Camden. Let's go back to Camden. You could have just stayed, sold drugs on the low, whatever, did this, did that. No one's telling you go fight MMA, go fight in the cage.
How do you know I sold drugs? I didn't say that on the podcast. I'm joking.
Just an example, you could have chosen, you know, the easy way. But, you know, you chose your path to be a fighter. I choose my path to go speak to people like yourself, you know, try and make it out. Because at the end of the day, we're both trying to make it out. You've made it. I'm on my way.
Yeah.
You know, I need to carry on. I can't stop. I could stop and just be like my friends back home in prison or whatever.
Yeah, but even that, you saying I've made it, there's always more you can do. You can always move the goalposts, and that's what you should do in your life. That's what successful people do. You see people at the very top, even in the UFC. You see people, you can always move the goalposts. You can always change your goals and do something more and go further. You see that even in the UFC. Guys that are, Islam Makhachev, he's the 155 champ. He's won 10 in a row. He's like, I'm gonna move up to the next weight class and get another belt.
Double, why not?
Yeah, like, there's always more you can do, and that should always be your motivation. You're never done, man. There's never enough. Not in a greedy way. You shouldn't fixate that idea on money and stuff like that, but just for your own personal goals and achievements that you want to have.
Yeah, and my personal Instagram bio as well, when I was growing up, it was always humble but hungry. Because I know where I come from, nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm hungry, I want more, but I want to more properly. I want to be, you know, all the sacrifice, all the bullying I went through, all the poverty that I went through, everything, I want it to be worth it.
Yeah.
I don't want to just have an average house. I want everything. So let's move to the Q&A section at the end. I always like to do rapid fire.
All right.
So what is the toughest moment in your career that people never see?
Toughest moment in my career, I fought out in Singapore and I got knocked out. It was the first time I ever been truly finished, and like I'd never been even rocked before in the gym. So getting knocked out, because it was like, it changed my reality. I thought I couldn't get knocked out like Paddy Pimblett. I never thought I'd ever get knocked out. I thought, oh, I'm a guy who's gonna go a whole career. I'm not gonna get hurt or knocked out. I got knocked out, I got my nose broke.
Cold, yeah.
Yeah, so that changed my reality. But it was, again, it was only a positive influence. I was like, damn, like, this is real. It made me take things seriously. Like, fighting, you could get hurt. It was the first time I really got hurt in a fight. So I was like, oh, this is serious. You could get hurt. But that helped me to evolve into a better fighter.
Yeah, and who do you say was your hardest opponent?
My hardest opponent was probably that guy. The guy that knocked me out. Yeah, very high level striker. He's ranked now in the UFC. Very good fighter. Yeah, Zhang Min Yang, Chinese guy.
Zhang Min Yang. All right. And what part of your game as a fighter are you most proud of?
Like my skill set, you're
Yeah.
saying?
What do you say makes you excel?
Probably I'm most proud of my wrestling, not because it's amazing, but because growing up in England, we don't wrestle and it was so bad. That's where I've made the greatest improvements, like living in America, my wrestling.
Yeah. And how's your mindset about fighting changed over time?
As you get older, you get wiser, the experiences, things change in your life. You realize fighting isn't everything. Like it's a flash in the pan of your life. But like I said, from those experiences, you get more serious about it and you learn what fighting actually is. You know what I mean? I always say, like, when I walk out for fights, sometimes I'm in the cage and I'm like, wow, all these people are here, the cameramen, the doctors, the people outside doing security, the people out even on the street doing parking, the cops that are out there, the
Hot dog seller,
the
yeah.
police, the hot dog seller, everyone, bro. The people putting up lights on the cameras, the people who clean the floors, the people selling popcorn in the arena.
Ecosystem, the whole thing.
The whole thing exists so people can watch us two men fight in the cage for entertainment. I'm like, oh, that's what this is. Like, people get lost in what it is. Like, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. All these people are here. This whole thing exists. Everyone's watching on TV, millions of people. The TV channel, all of that exists for the entertainment factor. Like, that's what this is. It's nothing different from the Colosseum in Rome.
Romans. I've said this before with Magic and also a goalkeeper football. It was like, it literally is a gladiator fight. You got the arena, you got all the money pumped in or whatever. End of the day, it's just two men fighting. Yeah. That's how it is. And what do you say is the biggest misconception people have about you?
About me? Misconception about me? They probably think, because of the way I speak, because I'm working class from London, and I fight professionally, they think I'm probably a knucklehead or I'm a bit stupid. But I'd say, like, I'm more like, I think I lean more to that side of the spectrum. Like I like to think I'm very academic and smart, investigative. Yeah. I love to read. I read a lot. Like, my hobbies people wouldn't be interested in them. I like carpentry and I like botany and plants and things like that. I'm weird,
soft
bro.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a weird guy. I got my chickens at home in Florida. Like, I'm a weirdo like that. Yeah. I like art. They wouldn't think of me like that. They think, oh, I'm a fighter and I probably do this and that.
Heavy metal music, rap, all that.
That's probably a misconception about me.
Yeah, that's for me as well. Like, even, especially, I think it's a council state thing. Like, when you come from that area, they think, for example, like Spotify Wrapped. Yeah. I got mine. Believe it or not, right? You guys are going to think I'm crazy. I'm top 0.6% of Mozart listeners. No
way, bro.
you think someone like me listens to Mozart? Bro. People think I listen to Central C, Dave, whatever. But it's Mozart, out of all things. Sick. So that's like, it's kind of like with you, just like, they don't expect it. But the higher up you go, the more yourself you can be. Because people condition, you're from London, you're from Camden, you got to listen to rap, you got wet tech fleece.
I still do those things, but
but it's not like your personality.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and in terms of the future legacy section now, what does success mean to you now versus before?
Success is, like you said, will be longevity, like in the career, like, because that allows you to give back more. Like, the longer I can make my UFC career, the more impact I can have outside of the cage. It gives me the platform for longer to help more people and get a voice out there and spread a good message.
Inspire. End of the day, you're doing this to obviously, legacy for your family, but also inspire people. Yeah. So, and the last two questions is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's a deep one.
Yeah, I hate that question. In 5 years, again, I'd like to just, not for selfish reasons, but I'd like to have a platform where I could really impact people. And spread a positive message, and even if I could, like, I'm not going to change the whole culture, but just so I think I have some things that I can say that can change people.
Your experiences.
Yeah, from my experiences, that's all I want to do, is positive impact. Yeah. Especially on young kids, that grew up how I grew up. Yeah.
I see myself doing that as well. Yeah. Because Camden, not many make it. Like, the whole thing ties back to Camden, We've been talking for an hour and a bit. Yeah. It all goes back to Camden, You're one of the success stories, I'd say, out of Camden. People that have made it, and doing a positive thing.
Yeah.
So you obviously want to go back and show them that you can make it.
Yeah.
Because like you said before, everyone's saying you can't make it, you're going to end up in prison, kicked out of school, whatever. But you made it, haven't you?
Do you know what? I want to say
give them hope.
I want to say something. This will be a soundbite, but the other day, like I don't come to London often.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time I've been over a year. I was walking down the street with my brother and I bumped into someone, a guy called Lex, an older guy that I used to know. And I never got the chance to tell him. And I told him the other night and we had a big hug. I said, bro, I owe you, He's like, what do you mean? And I was like, years ago, before I took fighting seriously, I was f***ing around doing nonsense that I shouldn't be doing.
Messing about, yeah.
And he pulled me aside one day and he's like, bro, what are you doing? And I was like, bro, I'm just doing my thing, like what? And he was like, bro, like you actually got a way out, like go home, like what are you doing, man? Actually take this seriously, try. And I was like, yeah. And he said it more articulately than that, but I was like, damn. And I never got a chance to tell him, and I told him the other night when I see him in London, I just happened to walk past him.
Fate, yeah.
Crazy. And I said to him, bro, I owe you. You kicked me into shape that day. And now I'm in the UFC. Yeah, and I hugged him and he's like, wow, I never knew that. And I said, yeah, bro, you don't know when you're talking to someone the impact that you could have on them. So it's like every word is worth more than its weight. Like you don't know the impact you can have on someone. I always remembered that. I always remember that conversation. And he really meant it, but he probably forgot about it. But to me, it meant the world, you know what I'm saying?
Intentions, yeah. That's the thing as well, like, especially older people, more wise people, sometimes all you need is one word. It's like a slap in the face. It's like, it wakes you up. My slap in the face, for example, was, so obviously I'm not trying to, be all sad and everything, but it was literally, because I grew up pretty much with like no friends, whatever, like lonely, whatever, but I had my grandparents and I always loved them, when they used to come, they're from Algeria, when they used to come here, spend time with them, they were the ones who like properly loved me for who I am. And then when they, my grandpa, he passed away 2011, and then my grandparents on my mum's side, both of them passed away, May and April, whatever. It happens, God's plan, right? But that was my slap in the face that, I've got no one now.
Yeah.
Obviously, my parents, I love them, but not as much as my grandparents. They love me for who I am.
That wisdom.
So that thing as a man, especially, is when you have no one left, that it makes you go all out.
Yeah.
Because right now, I'm happy with, just crash and just die now. Because I know that it's all or nothing. That's my mentality now, it's always going to be that. And in terms of advice for anyone watching, right, just to wrap this up, out of everything you've been through, because, you've been down here, you've made it up there, you had a fall, you made it back. So that's pretty much people's life in just 30 or so years, or 20-something years. What would you give to them? Obviously, fighters, first of all, and then just regular people in life.
To fighters, I would go back to the consistency point of like, you just have to show up every day, man. Consistency is key. Whatever's going on in your life, just make sure you're on the mats because the time is going to pass regardless. And you can't get left behind in this sport because the sport moves so quick. Like you think taking a week, 2, 3 months out the gym, the sport's even moved since then. And then you're playing catch up just to get to that point. So whatever's happening in your life, just find a way. If you've got to borrow the money, if you have to do whatever you have to do, ask for help. To just make sure you're on the mats, man. Don't give up. Don't bail out. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it going because the time's going to pass anyway. And in life, just show up for yourself, man. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Show up for yourself. And people always think about trusting their gut when you're talking about something bad, like, oh, I got a bad feeling about this or whatever. Well. You got to trust your gut for good stuff. Like, if you get a little inkling, because they're the ones you don't feel, you feel the bad stuff more. It's more noticeable, like when you trust your gut on a bad thing. But sometimes you get a little feeling in your gut about a good thing. And that could be the idea that sparks. That could be the dream that comes true. Like, you got to go for it, bro. You only got one life to live. Like, you got to go for it.
And some say you've got half a life because once you're 50 or 60,
exactly.
What life are you living?
Yeah.
So you probably have 30 or so years.
Exactly. Go for it, man. You never know where you could end up. I always say I just fell into this sport and I'm in the UFC now and I meet people every day and they're like, wow, like even on the way here, the Uber driver gets out to take a picture. Like, it's crazy. You got to go for it, man. I thought maybe he could have been a fighter and he just decided he's going to drive Uber.
Potential.
Yeah, like you got to go for it.
Yeah, man, and that's with everything in life, Yeah. Everyone has their thing. My dad always used to tell me, everyone has their thing, you know. For example, yours was fighting, you know, my brother's was football, whatever, you know, my friends was this, my friends was that. Everyone has their thing because God, you know, obviously believe in God.
He gives us all something.
Exactly. He gives everyone something to go and do into the world. No one's here without a purpose.
Yeah.
So.
But I heard a good analogy the other day, and it was like, we all have a gift, but your gift ain't for you. Like the tree can't eat its own fruit. The fruit's for people to walk by and take it and eat it. And I think about that with fighting. I'm like, even though it's given me all this in my life, like it's not for me, it's for all those fans that I talked about, like people to watch, it's for the entertainment factor.
Hope.
Even your platform, like what you're doing, like it's very fulfilling and it satisfies you, but if you think of it as being for you, like, oh, I'm gonna get this money, I'm gonna do this for myself or be famous, like that's not how gifts work. You have to give them, innit?
Exactly, yeah, inspire people, tell them, you know.
That's why even that thing of like, you have a gift is like, that's even disingenuous. It's like, no, the gift is for everyone else. You can give it.
Like
you have it to give. Yeah, you have it to give.
Yeah.
Like a singer can't hear their own voice.
that's getting clipped. That's a good say. The tree thing as well, like, you know, end of the day, even though I've made a penny obviously from a whole year and everything, but it's for people. Because I could just, you know, wrap this up, go uni, go my degree, go party on Friday nights, whatever, and still come out average.
Yeah.
But I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know, I've got that hunger. You've obviously got that hunger. You could have just been an average fighter, paycheck to paycheck, whatever. But you want more.
Yeah.
So.
Facts.
Yeah, Tuco, it's been a pleasure, brother. Thank you.
Man. You're the man.
I enjoyed this, honestly.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you took a thing or two out of this episode, because this is for you. You know, even though I'm doing the talking here, it's for you young guys to listen and learn. So, yeah, have a good one.
Alhamdulillah.
Always. Fino Rolos. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.